all when to CBC's live coverage of the 50th anniversary of Independence Parade 2016. We take this opportunity to wish all of our sons and daughters of the soil a happy and blessed independence. Here's our host, Miss Dale Ford.
Broadcasting Corporation's live coverage of the 50th anniversary Independence Parade here at the Kensington Oval. My name is Dale Ford and I am ably assisted by Warrant Officer Class 1 Cheryl Dean of the Barbados Defence Force, and as I said, we are at the Kensington Oval. As you know, torrential rains had rescheduled and relocated the Independence Parade, usually at the Garrison Savannah or the alternative location, which would have been at the Barbados port. So we say good afternoon to you. It's a not too cloudy day. It's forming up to be a wonderful afternoon. Warrant Officer Class 1 Cheryl Dean, welcome to the broadcast.
Thank you very much, and a pleasant good afternoon to you and also to all our viewers in Barbados and across the Caribbean. At the present moment, the armed units are marching on into the parade square. They are going to take up their positions on their respective markers who are already in position, and at the same time the officers and the flag bearers of the respective unarmed units have also taken up their position off of the parade for what is expected to be a very great parade. Members of the Barbados Defence Force Sports Program under the command of Lieutenant Adrian Boyce now marching under the parade ground, and you can also see the ceremonial Land Rover, which was in use since 1984.
We also have to let our viewers know that occasionally they will be hearing the voice of the parade commentator. He's been the parade commentator for 7 consecutive years, Commander retired David Dowridge, and this afternoon he's going to be assisted by Lieutenant Michael Juice, who is coordinator of the BDF sports program that you just mentioned.
That is true. That's an aerial view of the entire parade, and you can see the markers for the unarmed units in position at the present moment. The armed units on parade this afternoon consist of the Barbados Coast Guard, the Corps of Women, the Guard of Honor of the Barbados Regiment, the Royal Barbados Police Force. For the very first time, the regional security system. This is the Royal Barbados Police Force Band at the present moment under the command of the Senior Drum Major Inspector David Codrington. We also have on parade the Barbados Cadet Corps Land Forces, the Barbados Cadet Corps Sea Cadets, the Barbados Regiment Reserves, and the Barbados Defence Force Sports Program. That will make up the armed units. The parade will be formed up in 3 sides of a hollow square, with the armed units forming the base, and there will be a right half and a left half. On the right half of the parade will be the Boy Scouts Association of Barbados, the Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders, the St. John Ambulance Association of Barbados, the National Conservation Commission, the Barbados Fire Service, the Barbados Red Cross Society, and after a period of about 3-4 years, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital nurses and the Transport Board for the very first time are on parade. The band of the Royal Barbados Police Force.
Ladies and gentlemen, the armed units are now on parade. We now await the arrival of the unarmed units.
The right half of the unarmed units will be marched on by the band of the Barbados Defence Force, and the unarmed units of the left half will be marched on by the band of the Barbados Cadet Corps. They will then be combined to form the mass band for this year's parade. The unarmed units on the left half will be, for the very first time, the Barbados Immigration Department, the Barbados Postal Service back after a break, the Church Lads and Church Girls Brigade of the Anglican Church back on parade after a brief period, the Barbados Prison Service, the Government Security Guards, the Barbados Youth Service, the Barbados Landship Association, the Girl Guides Association of Barbados, the Barbados Legion, and the cadets who were on parade in 1966 are here for this 50th anniversary of parade. The members of the Barbados Boy Scouts Association of Barbados now making their way on to the parade, and that's the first unit of the right half of the parade. Lots of people are gathering at this present moment for the parade. Directly behind the Boy Scouts are the St. John Ambulance Association of Barbados. And they'll be followed by the Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders, all bedecked in their ceremonial uniform for this occasion, stretched from the Garrison Savannah to Kensington Oval because of the inclemency of the weather. But as I said, a large crowd has already gathered to witness this parade. The Boy Scouts Association of Barbados and the Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders directly behind them, and they will be followed by the St. John Ambulance Association of Barbados. At the present moment, the large crowd showing appreciation for the several units as they march on parade, and the St. John Ambulance Association of Barbados. They are followed by the National Conservation Commission, and the units on parade this afternoon are being marched on by their junior officer. Members of the Barbados Fire Service on parade, and they will be followed by the Barbados Red Cross Society.
And the audience is really appreciating this afternoon's parade.
They're certainly enjoying seeing the color and the precision that is being executed here this afternoon. The nurses of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital presently marched on under the command of Nurse Llewellyn Duke, who was a former Staff Sergeant in the Barbados Defence Force and also a registered nurse. And they're followed by the members of the Transport Board under the command of Mr. Houdini Hines, who is a former Lance Corporal in the Barbados Defence Force. Members of the Transport Board on parade for the very first time. An appreciation from this very large and colorful crowd, and still gathering and watching this parade. The parade this afternoon will be in 7 stages. We are now into phase. It's the phase 1. They're formed up and handed over to the adjutant, and they are marched on to the parade ground. Phase 2 will be the dressing of the parade, the assembly, the fall in of the officers, the march on to the flags, the hand over to the parade commander, and the march on of the colors. Phase 3 will be the arrival of the various dignitaries. Phase 4 will be the display by the Barbados Cadet Corps and the United States Coast Guard silent drill team. Phase 5 will be the salute to the nation, and phase 6 will be the departure of the respective dignitaries, and phase 7 will be the ceremonial march to Bridgetown, where the salute will be taken by the Prime Minister of Barbados, the Right Honourable Frondell Stewart, in front of Parliament Building.
And Barbadians still in there, Barbadians from at home and abroad, Barbadians who live here and those who would have come in specifically for the 50th anniversary celebrations, still wearing their gold and blue and their black. I understand members of the Cadet Corps they're also in the audience, and we're expecting to have a special presentation from them as well
Yes.
a little later this afternoon.
And we will see them in their very colorful uniform, which was made at the Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic.
Of course, the grounds here at Kensington would be much smaller than the grounds at Garrison Savannah. Has there been any limit to what the parade would be able to do this afternoon?
Yes, unfortunately, the troops would have done a series of maneuvers called forms, which is very spectacular, especially from an aerial point of view. But because of the smallness of the ground, we've had to cut out that. And also because it's a night parade, the members of the Ghana Defense Force Paratroopers team will be unable to perform.
And their demonstration was spectacular at rehearsals on Sunday.
On Sunday, correct. So the right half of the parade is still marching on. They're going to take up their position. At the present moment, the band of the Royal Barbados Police Force is playing for them. Kensington Oval, the home of cricket.
Yes, now the home of the Independence Parade. This is the first time that this would have happened.
Yes, this is the very first
for
time.
the Independence Parade.
Normally the parade would be held at the Garrison, and in lieu of the Garrison, it would be held at the Bridgetown Port. But the decision was made to hold it here this year because of the inclement weather, and the ground is holding firm and good.
And the weather as well.
Correct.
Left half!
Members of the Barbados Prison Service forming part of the left half of the parade being marched on, and they are followed by the government security guards. And directly behind the government security guards is the Barbados Immigration Department. They are on parade for the very first time. And I will admit that members of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital nurses, the government, the Immigration Department, and the Barbados Postal Service, they have been training for this parade since late July.
So preparations start from as early as July this year?
Preparations really start from as early as May. When the command is given to the Barbados Defense Force to plan and execute the Independence Day Parade. And from there, then invitations are sent to the various units, invited them to participate, and I can say that they eagerly look forward to participating in this parade. The Immigration Department, under the command of Zara Messiah, who is a lieutenant in the Barbados Cadet Corps, very resplendent in their new uniform. They are followed by the members of the Barbados Youth Service.
Initially, we were told that there were 73 officers and about 1,100 actual participants. Do those numbers still hold because of the size of the location?
that number will still hold. Those will the members of the Barbados Postal Service. Very resplendent in their uniform. Marching on parade at the present moment. Members of the Barbados Landship, the Landship Association, and they're followed by the members of the Church Lads and Church Girls Brigade of the Anglican Church. And directly behind them are the members of the Girl Guides Association of Barbados. Normally the Girl Guides Association of Barbados and their band would have approximately 100 members on parade. But because of the size of the ground, they've had to reduce the numbers, and also the same thing will go for the Pathfinders Association. Because of the numbers, they've had to reduce, but the members will be available for the ceremonial march to Bridgetown. All of the units now having formed up on parade, the adjutant will stand by to dress the parade and hand the parade over to the second in command.
And of course, when you say dress, that means make sure that every person who is on parade and their particular detachment is in line, is in order.
Correct.
That's what dress means.
Yes. And they will dress the right half of the parade then he would dress the left half of the parade. And you may ask, why you dress the right half? The right half of the parade is always the senior half of the parade, and then the left half of the parade. And he would go from the front rank to the center rank to the rear rank and ensure that everybody is in line, and also that people are covering off from the rear. The parade adjutant for this parade this afternoon is Lieutenant Coast Guard John Walcott. His equivalent rank in the infantry is that of a captain. The conducting warrant officer is Warrant Officer Class 1 Samuel Boyce. The present
parade adjutant is Lieutenant Coast Guard John Walcott. His career in the military started in 1978 when he joined the number 4 company of the Barbados Cadet Corps at Ellerslie Secondary School. He was promoted to the rank of captain and has held several appointments and command posts in the Cadet Corps since 1999. Throughout his 30-year career, he's attended several courses, and he has made a tremendous contribution to the development of the Barbados Cadet Corps. Outside of his military career, however, Lieutenant Coast Guard Walcott is considered by many as a national treasure, both in the visual and the performing arts. Needless to say, you recognize him as Fufu on the popular local comedian series. He is a fine artist of 30+ years. He's currently the head of the arts department at the Graydon Seeley Secondary School. He's a proud father of one daughter, 19-year-old Tiara Walker. Ladies and gentlemen, the adjutant, Lieutenant Coast Guard John Walker.
The parade adjutant is now standing by, bring the parade to attention, and
in open order. Right dress.
gives the word of command in open order, right dress, and the conducting warrant officer WO1 Samuel Boyce comes forward, turns, and commences the dressing with the front rank of the right half. As you can see, the armed units consisting of the Barbados Coast Guard, the Corps of Women of the Barbados Defence Force, the Guard of Honor formed from the Barbados Regiment, the Royal Barbados Police Force.
The adjutant has instructed the parade to dress so that all are in line. The dressing is being done by the 4th Sergeant Major of the Barbados Defence Force, Warrant Officer Class 1 Samuel Boyce.
Of the left arm. Stand still. The rear right of the right half.
And as you said, the right half is
Senior
always
half
a senior half
of the parade, and then there's the left half of the parade. Assisting the conducting warrant officer throughout the preparation for this ceremony would have been a number of drill instructors, and even today they would be ensuring that everybody is steady on parade and the alignment is correct. And the drill instructors will be drawn from the Barbados Defence Force, the Royal Barbados Police Force, the Barbados Prison Service,
Cadets!
and the Barbados Fire Service. All of them would have qualified as drill instructors, having completed an advanced drill course. At the present moment, the parade adjutant is now fixing bayonets and preparing to hand the parade over to the parade second in command, Senior Superintendent, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Euclid Thompson. And he will report exactly how many numbers are on parade. And these numbers would have come from the conducting warrant officer. All of the units of parade would have given the numbers to him. So those numbers will pass up and they will increase as the officers and the flag bearers come. So by the time the parade commander is ready to report to His Royal Highness,
are led by Inspector Codgerton of the Royal Barbados Police Force. He is assisted by Drum Majors Sergeant Dane Bascom of the Royal Barbados Police Force, Sergeant Rouse of the Barbados Defence Force, and Warrant Officer Class 2 Nikolai Eiffel of the Barbados Cadet Corps. The drummers are executing a drill movement called the Promenade. Military tradition has it that while troops were prepared for parade or other military operation by the non-commissioned officers, notably the parade sergeant major or a similar rank, the officers would remain in their quarters, no doubt strategizing, planning and preparing. When the detachments were settled on parade, the drummers were dispatched to march through the officers' lines to signal that the time had come for the officers to assemble and join the parade. The ceremonial promenade you are seeing today is the precursor to the detachment commanders joining the parade.
The drummers of the mass band, under the command of the Senior Drum Major for this afternoon, Inspector David Codgerton, and assisting him are Sergeant Rouse of the Barbados Defence Force, Sergeant Dane Bascom of the Royal Barbados Police Force Band, and Warrant Officer Class 2 Nikolai Eiffel of the Barbados Cadet Corps. The 4 drum majors on parade this afternoon.
And the mass band is made up of the Royal Barbados Police Force,
the Barbados Defence Force, and the Barbados Cadet Corps. This is the first time that we're going to be having a senior drum major on an Independence Day parade.
There are a lot of firsts this year for this particular Independence Parade.
Yes, although not a first, the parade is being commanded female also this year. Major Bendy Yearwood. The junior officers having fell out from there have now joined the other senior officers.
Having been summoned, have taken up their positions on the passing line of the parade ground and are awaiting instructions to assemble.
And we just want to remind our viewers that the parade commentator, you would hear him intermittently. He's actually doing the commentating here at the Kensington Oval. Warrant Officer Class 1 Sherrod Dean and I, we are doing the broadcast. And Commander Retired David Dulridge is assisted by Lieutenant Michael Jews, who's coordinator of the Barbados Defence Forces Sports Program.
Having received the command for the assembly, the officers have drawn their swords and they have come forward the required 15 paces. The armed officers up front, followed by the officers from the unarmed units, and directly behind them are the flag bearers of the respective units.
Charge! Shoulder! Ah!
The parade adjutant will now report and hand over the parade to the second in command, who will march on the officers and flag parties to their respective detachments.
Lieutenant Coast Guard John Walcott making his way to report to the parade of 2IC, and he will state exactly how many people are on parade at this present moment.
Good evening, sir. Lieutenant Coast Guard John Walker, Adjutant for the 50th Anniversary Parade of Independence. On parade, we have 9 warrant officers, 20 senior NCOs, and 480 other ranks, all formed at the open order and awaiting your instruction. Sir, please. Mission to carry on, sir, please.
The adjutant, having handed over the parade to the parade 2IC, now takes his position at the far left of the officers of the armed units, and stands by for the command from the parade 2IC to fall in the officers, and he will go and take his position with all the other officers on parade.
The parade's second in command is Senior Superintendent Euclid Thompson. He joined the Royal Barbados Police Force on 10th November 1973. He has served in several leadership positions in the Royal Barbados Police Force, including Commandant of the Regional Police Training Center. He's a recipient of the Barbados Service Medal in 1994, the Queen's Jubilee Medal in 2014. He's a devout Christian, a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church. He's married with 3 children and 5 grandchildren.
Parade 2IC have just stood the parade at ease, turned around, and is now addressing the entire parade, including the officers, who will now be given the command. They've been given the command to take post in front of their respective units, and from there they will march to their respective units.
Music is a very big part of the parade.
The officers are now marching towards their respective detachments, and as the command said, will take post in front of their various detachments.
To the music, Pak to Shima, which is a traditional piece of music played by the mass bands. The respective officers for the armed and unarmed units are now taking up position in front of their respective units. Certainly a very colorful sight. The mass band this afternoon is under the command of Senior Superintendent Andrew Lynch. He is assisted by Captain Alfred Taylor of the Barbados Defence Force Band, and Captain Len Cummins of the Barbados Cadet Corps Band. Appreciative crowd here.
Very
at
much
Kensington
so.
Oval.
It's still filling up. There's still many Barbadians, and I'm sure visitors as well, who are still coming into Kensington Oval to witness this Independence Parade.
Members of the banner bearers of the respective units now preparing to march on parade.
We are now witnessing the flag bearers marching on to their respective detachments.
The history of carrying flags, banners, or colors on parade goes back to medieval times when wealthy landowners would always have a piece of cloth with their crest placed on it. And in times of war, regiments were allowed to do the same thing, to carry a color into battle, and it was used as a rallying point. But this custom no longer exists, but colors, banners are said to be the spirit of the unit in the military. The various battles that military units would have fought are always placed on their colors as march. The members of the church lads and church girls brigade in their black skirts and pants, white blouse, and the flag of the church lads brigade on parade, and to their right the Red Cross Society of Barbados. Having marched the
Parade second in command will now report and hand over the parade to the parade commander, who, on taking command, will march the principal flags, that is the colors, onto the parade.
second in command is reporting the state of the parade to the parade commander, and this would include the amount of officers on parade and other ranks. This uniform is useful because the parade commander, in reporting to His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales, will also have to state exactly how many people are on parade.
Today's parade commander is Major Wendy Yearwood, the 37-year veteran of the Barbados Defense Force, is a St. Lucie Secondary School graduate. She's been the first in many things. First warrant officer, first parade adjutant, first Miss Barbados Defense Force. She is only the second female officer to command this parade. Major Wendy Yearwood.
Major Wendy Yearwood. what you're going to hear with is the acting commanding officer of the Barbados Regiment. And here are the colors.
Red! Shot! Shoulder! Arms! March on the colors! Red! Present! Arms!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand as the colors are marched onto the parade.
The colors on parade this afternoon consist of the Queen's color, the regimental color, and the Barbados Coast Guard ensign. The Queen's color is carried by Lieutenant Paul Alexander. The regimental color, which is in the center, is carried by Second Lieutenant Sam Rodeo, and the Coast Guard ensign by Acting Sub-Lieutenant Jamal Wiggins. Making up the entire color party is the senior warrant officer on the color, Warrant Officer Class 2 Leroy Stewart, and the escorts are Color Sergeant Marshall, Color Sergeant Leacock, and Chief Petty Officer Nurse. Members of the color party, and this is the first time that the Barbados Coast Guard ensign is parading for this parade.
And you would have said that the colors usually would have signified, would have been used or carried in battle so that soldiers of a particular unit could see where their unit was.
Yes, and of importance was that piece of music that was played. That's known as a hunting call. That is synonymous to the Barbados Regiment.
Red! Shoulder! Arms!
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated.
Order! Arms! Standards! Ease!
All regiments.
The parade is
have
now
colours.
settled and ready to receive today's dignitaries. The first two dignitaries to arrive will be the Chief of Staff, Barbados Defence Force, and Commissioner of Police, Royal Barbados Police Force. They will be followed by the Chief Justice and the Prime Minister. Today's reviewing officer, His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales, accompanied by His Excellency the Governor General of Barbados, will be the last two dignitaries to arrive.
We're now witnessing the arrival of the Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defence Force, Colonel Alvin Quinton, and the Acting Commissioner of Police, Mr. Tyrone Griffith. They will be met by the Deputy Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defence Force, Commander Ayrton Sherlin, and the parade will be brought to attention, and the parade commander will acknowledge their presence by paying compliments. The door openers for this parade are able-bodied Seaman Braffett S. and A.B. Shallery N. Compliments being played, and they have returned the compliments by saluting.
Right! Standard! East!
The other two are Corporal Wickham K. and Private Legal A. The Chief of Staff was accompanied by his ADC.
Right! Red! Sean!
We are now awaiting the arrival of the Chief Justice of Barbados, the Honorable Sir Marston Gibson, K.A.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the Honorable Sir Marston Gibson, the Chief Justice of Barbados.
The Chief Justice will be met by the Chief of Staff and the Commissioner of Police. And the parade commander will acknowledge his presence on the parade by paying compliments to him. Chief of Staff and the Acting Commissioner escorting the Chief Justice of Barbados to the saluting dais. The next dignitary to arrive will be the Prime Minister of Barbados, the Right Honourable Fandel Stewart, QC MP, and
Break! Standard! Ease!
Thank you. Please be seated.
he will be accorded a general salute. The Chief of Staff was accompanied by his ADC, Lieutenant Sean Broom, and the Acting Commissioner by his ADC, ASP Trevor Blackman.
Break! Break! Sean! Shoulder! Arms!
The Prime Minister of Barbados will be accompanied
Ladies and
by
gentlemen,
his
please stand for the arrival of the Right Honourable Fandel Stewart, Prime Minister of Barbados.
The Prime Minister will be accompanied by his ADC, Captain Barry Marshall. And he will be accorded a general salute. And the final two dignitaries after will be His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales and the Governor General of Barbados, His Excellency Sir Elliot Belgrave. The Prime Minister, having been met by the Chief of Staff and the Acting Commissioner of Police, is escorted to the saluting dais, where he will be accorded a general salute, and all of the armed units on parade will present arms. Officers with swords will salute with their swords.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Please be seated.
A parade of this magnitude calls for a lot of planning and lots of rehearsals also. And I think kudos must be paid to the conducting warrant officer, W1 Samuel Boyce, and his team of instructors who on Tuesdays, on Thursdays, and on Saturdays have gone through the paces with all of these people on parade so that we have as perfect a parade as humanly possible.
And so far flawless.
Correct. The officers would have done their various sword drills. The flag bearers would have done their drill with the flags, and the armed units would have done their rifle exercises, and the unarmed units their foot drill. And in between, they have been told what to expect, because there are a number of young people out there who are on parade for the very first time. And the rigors of standing up on parade for a long period of time can take a toll of you. Members of the Boy Scouts Association of Barbados on parade, and the Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders, also the St. John Ambulance Brigade, Queen Elizabeth Hospital nurses, the National Conservation Commission, the Transport Board, and the Barbados Fire Service, all resplendent in their various ceremonial uniforms. and all of their colors on parade also.
And we're awaiting the arrival of
His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales and the Governor General of Barbados, His Excellency Sir Elliot Belgrave and Lady Belgrave. Barbados Prison Service, government security guards.
Shoulder! Arms!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the reviewing officer, His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales, and their Excellencies, Sir Elliot Belgrave, Governor General of Barbados, and Lady Belgrave. Please remain standing from now until His Royal Highness departs the saluting dais to inspect the detachments on parade.
And His Royal Highness
the Governor General of Barbados, accompanied by his ADC, Captain Ashton Cadell, and His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales, accompanied by his equerry, Major Carlos Leville. His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales is met by the Chief of Staff of the Barbados Defence Force and the Acting Commissioner of Police, and will be escorted to the saluting dais, where he will be accorded a royal salute, and the mass bands will play the national anthem of Barbados.
And His Royal Highness has been in Barbados for the last few days, celebrating the 50th anniversary with us. His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales, of course, affectionately known as Prince Harry, 32 years old and the younger son of the Prince of Wales and the late Diana, Princess of Wales.
Royal salute! Present! Arms!
The parade commander will now report the state of the parade to the reviewing officer, His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales, and invite him to inspect the detachments on parade.
Prince Henry of Wales in uniform. He entered the Royal Military Academy Sandhurst on the 8th of May 2005, where he was known as Officer Cadet Wales. The commander paying compliments with her sword.
Good evening, Your Royal Highness. I am Major Wayne Yearwood, Parade Commander, and it is my distinct pleasure to command the 50th Anniversary Independence Day Parade. On parade are 61 officers and 1,022 other ranks. The armed units are drawn from the Barbados Coast Guard, the Barbados Regiment, the Royal Barbados Police Force, the Regional Security System, the Barbados Cadet Corps, and the Barbados Defence Force Sports Program. The unarmed units are drawn from the Barbados Boy Scouts, the Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders, the St. John Ambulance Brigade, the National Conservation Commission, the Barbados Fire Service, the Barbados Red Cross, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, the Transport Board, Barbados Immigration Department, the Barbados Postal Service, the Church Lads and Girls Brigade, Her Majesty's Prison Service, Government Security Guards, the Barbados Youth Service, the Barbados Landship, the Barbados Girl Guides, the Mounted Troop of the Royal Barbados Police Force, and the mass bands of the Royal Barbados Police Force, the Barbados Defense Force, and the Barbados Cadet Corps. The parade is formed up in the open order, entry size of the Hall Square, and awaiting the pleasure of your inspection. Sir, please.
The parade commander, having reported the entire state of the parade, we're now awaiting for the ceremonial Land Rover, which will assist with the inspection. This Land Rover was procured in 1984 and is used on all ceremonial occasions and at state funerals to draw the gun carriage. Today it is driven by Corporal Austin Lascelles, who has driven this vehicle for the past 15 years. The vehicle is kept in its immaculate condition by personnel in the Light Aid Detachment within the Barbados Defense Force, which is known as the LAD Department. Sitting with Corporal Austin is the Equerry Major Carlos Neville, and in the rear of the vehicle standing is the parade commander. Inside of her is His Royal Highness Prince Henry, and behind the two of them is the Chief of Staff.
Ladies and gentlemen,
and
please be seated.
Acting Commissioner of Police.
And as you said, music is always a very important part of any parade. And this music being played now.
Barbados, My Island of Dreams, composed by June Knight.
The reviewing officer is Prince Henry of Wales, Knight Commander of the Victorian Order. He was born 15 September 1984. He is Henry Charles Albert David, but is familiarly known as Prince Harry. In a military context, he is known as Captain Harry Wales. He is the younger son of Charles, Prince of Wales, and the late Diana, Princess of Wales. After an education at schools in United Kingdom and spending parts of his gap year in Australia and Lesotho, he chose a military career and underwent training at the Royal Military Academy, Sandhurst. On completion, he was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the Blues and Royals. He completed his training as a troop leader with that detachment.
As the ceremonial Land Rover passes in front of the Guard of Honor, you will notice that they all pay compliments to the colors on the parade.
His Royal Highness has served in Afghanistan. He is a humanitarian who launched the Invictus Games in 2014 and remains a patron of his foundation. Ladies and gentlemen in the Michiuik and the Greenwich and Haynes stand, please stand. His Royal Highness also gives patronage to several other organizations, including the Halo Trust, the London Marathon Charitable Trust, and Walking with the Wounded.
And His Royal Highness Prince Henry has been on a visit of the Caribbean in this the year of the Queen's 90th birthday. His grandmother, Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, he did come into the Caribbean on the 20th of November, and he's scheduled to leave on December 4th. He's visited 7 islands so far. Well, 7 islands he's planned to visit. So far he's visited Antigua and Barbuda, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, St. Vincent, Grenada. Of course, he's here in Barbados, and when he leaves Barbados, he goes on to Guyana. Guyana also observing 50 years of independence. Their independence was on May 26, 1966, as we celebrated ours yesterday, November 30th, 1966. While he was here, he also visited the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, which of course is named after his grandmother, and he also visited the Nightingale.
Thank you, Mr. Hewitt. I'm going to your hand. Please be seated. 3 W's. Please stand as the reviewing officer returns to the desk.
The reviewing officer in his uniform and with his medals, of which one of the medals is the Queen's Jubilee Medal, awarded in 2012 on the occasion of the Golden Jubilee of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II, and which is also worn by all service personnel in Barbados who were serving at the time. His Royal Highness Equerry, Major Carlos Level, is no stranger to the post of Equerry or ADC, having served as ADC to His Excellency the Governor General Sir Elliot Belgrave for a number of years.
And this, of course, is the final official event on His Royal Highness's calendar or itinerary here in Barbados. He's scheduled to leave Barbados tomorrow, December 2nd.
Commander will now seek permission to carry on with the rest of the parade, which will include the troop and the march past in slow and quick time by the armed units and in quick time by the unarmed units.
The inspection having been completed, and the parade commander having sought and having received permission from His Royal Highness to carry on with the next segment of the parade, the march past and paying of compliments by detachments, starting with the troop by the mass bands and drums, will commence. Ladies and gentlemen, in the 3W stand, please be seated.
The troop by the mass bands is in essence their version of the march past in slow and quick time, and the paying of compliments to the principal reviewing officer. This afternoon's principal reviewing officer being His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales. And to the music of beautiful Barbados, composed by Emil Straker, the mass band under the command of Superintendent Andrew Lynch.
mass bands and drums on parade today comprises bands from the Royal Barbados Police Force, the Barbados Defence Force, and the Barbados Cadet Corps. The band director is Assistant Superintendent of Police Andrew Lynch. He is assisted by Inspector Dexter Norval. Also on parade is Band Director of the Barbados Cadet Corps, Captain Len Cummings.
To the music of Trident of Dimcher, composed by Mr. Kenrick Moore, a former Director of Music of the Royal Barbados Police Force Band. Mass bands have done their maneuvers. The senior drum major Inspector David Codrington. Now return to the original position and the parade commander have given the command for in close order inwards dress, and the conducting warrant officer will now dress the entire parade. This occasion we just dress the right half and the left half as we stand by for the next phase, the march past of the armed units first in slow and quick time, and then the unarmed units in quick time only.
The armed units are being prepared shortly to march past in slow and quick time.
Ease! Stand fast, the unarmed units! Armed units! Armed units! Shun! Armed units! Shoulder! Arms! Armed units will march past by detachments in column of division in slow and quick time. Number 1 detachment leading. Move to the right in threes. Right! Turn!
The armed units having been turned to their right in threes, the first detachment to step off will be the Barbados Coast Guard. They're under the command of Lieutenant Coast Guard Anderson Goodrich, and he's assisted by Sub-Lieutenant Kerry Byron and Acting Sub-Lieutenant Elvis King. The right guide for the Coast Guard detachment is Master Chief Petty Officer Wayne Griffith, and the left guide is Chief Petty Officer Phillip. Their position in the center of the parade to play for the march past and to the music of Independence Day, composed by Carly A. Williams. Drum majors for the parade: Sergeant Rouse of the Barbados Defence Force, Sergeant Dean Bascom of the Royal Barbados Police Force Band, and Warrant Officer Class 2 Nikolai Eiffel. The Barbados Cadet Corps. Barbados Coast Guard detachment under the command of Lieutenant Coast Guard Anderson Goodrich. preparing to do their march past, and they are followed by the Corps of Women. Under the command of Captain Julia Dabrio, and she is assisted by Second Lieutenant Joseph Sam and Lieutenant Harvey Crystal, the right guide being Warrant Officer Class 2 Michelle Thompson.
First detachment on the passing line, pay compliments to the reviewing officer, is the Barbados Coast Guard. Coast Guard detachment is headed by Lieutenant Coast Guard Anderson Goodrich. He's assisted by Sub-Lieutenant Kerry Byron and Acting Sub-Lieutenant Elvis King. The right guide is Master Chief Petty Officer Pascal Holder, and the left guide is Petty Officer MacAndrew Otley. The second detachment is the Barbados Defence Force Corps of Women. The detachment is headed by Captain Julia Dabero. She is assisted by Second Lieutenant Joseph Sam and Lieutenant Crystal Harvey. The right guide is Warrant Officer Class 2 Michelle Thompson, and the left guide is Color Sergeant Cheryl Clark. Ladies and gentlemen, please remember to stand when the colors approach you and sit after the colors pass. The next detachment is the Guard of Honor, headed by the Guard Commander Major Andrew Skeet. The right half right guide is Warrant Officer Class 2 Rodney Blackman, and the left guide is Color Sergeant Adrian Knight. The left half is headed by Lieutenant Mark Jemmett. The right guide is Warrant Officer Class 2 Derby Green, and the left guide is Color Sergeant George Farner. The Queen's colour is being carried by Lieutenant Paul Alexander. The regimental colour is carried by Second Lieutenant Jamal Samrodia. And the Coast Guard ensign, for the first time, is being carried by Acting Sub-Lieutenant Jamal Wiggy. The colour escort, Colour Sergeant Colin Marshall, Tyrone Leacock, and Chief Petty Officer Ryan Nurse. The next detachment, paying compliments to His Royal Highness, is Barbados Defence Force, Barbados Regiment Reserve, commanded by Captain Robert Harewood. He's assisted by Lieutenant Donovan Smith and Second Lieutenant David Adamson. Following is a detachment from the Royal Barbados Police Force, commanded by Superintendent Margaret Stevens. She's assisted by Inspector Barry Hunt and Inspector Joel Williams. The right guide is Station Sergeant Philip Trotman, and the left guide is Sergeant Tick. The next detachment from the region is the Regional Security System, headed by Captain Abraham Brown from the Antigua and Barbuda Defence Force. He is assisted by Sub-Lieutenant Jerome Bell of the Barbados Coast Guard. Following the Regional Security System is the first detachment, the Infantry Detachment of the Barbados Cadet Corps. The detachment is commanded by Captain Adrian Ward. He is assisted by Cadet Senior Under Officer Dion Boucher and Cadet Under Officer David Johnson. The 2nd Cadet Detachment is the Barbados Sea Cadet Unit, headed by Sub-Lieutenant Sunita Brooker. She's assisted by Cadet Senior Officer Tevin Miner and Cadet Under Officer Dale Ann Wilkinson. The cadet battle party is being carried, the banner is being carried by CUO Dodger Weekson. Following unarmed but with the armed detachment is the Barbados Defense Force program. These champions are led by Lieutenant Adrian Boyce. He is assisted by 2nd Lieutenant Ramon Black. The right guide is Sergeant Arthur Reed, and the left guide is Sergeant Brian Kirchner. Ladies and gentlemen, the armed units in slow time. The parade commander has broken the parade, the armed units into quick time, and they will once again pass on the passing line and pay compliments to the reviewing officer.
The music that you are hearing now is entitled Blue and Gold, that was composed by Andrew Lynch. As the armed units now do their maneuvers as they march past in quick time and pay compliments. Commander now joining the Barbados Coast Guard detachment. She too will pay compliments and then veer off to the right and watch all of the other units do their maneuvers, both the armed and unarmed units, and then rejoin the parade once the march past is completed.
In quick time, led by the parade commander, the parade 2nd in command, the Barbados Coast Guard. The Barbados Defense Force Corps of Women. The right half of the Guard of Honor. Please stand for the colors.
You notice that as the Guard of Honor is
the color party. The left half of the Guard of Honor.
You would have noticed that as the Guard of Honor was marching past that the mass bands played the hunting call, and this is synonymous with the Barbados Regiment. It is known as the Regimental March.
The Barbados Regiment Reserve. The Royal Barbados Police Force. The Regional Security System. The Infantry Unit of the Barbados Cadet Corps. The Barbados Sea Cadet Unit. And the Barbados Defense Force Sports Program. Falling at the rear of the armed units is the adjutant, who's to make sure that everybody gets there in correct order.
To the music Claim to Flame, again arranged by Andrew Lynch. The armed units are now coming to the end of their maneuvers, and in a little while it will be the turn of the unarmed units to do their march past in quick time only and in column of route. And I must admit that the march past by the armed units in line is very colorful. We have the opposition, the Honorable Mayor Motley, taking in the proceedings. President of the Senate, Her Honor Senator Kerry Ann Eiffel, and Canon Noel Burke, Chairman of the Barbados Christian Council, Reverend Hugh Sandiford, Rector of the St. Matthias Anglican Church, Senior Chaplain of the Barbados Defense Force, the Honorable Prime Minister, His ADC, the Honorable Chief Justice, Chief of Protocol, those in the audience showing their appreciation. And I'm sure that the members of the Girl Guides who are there sitting, if the parade were held at the Garrison, they would have been on parade. And I know what it really means to set out a parade. You work your way towards the parade and you enjoy being on parade.
Understandable circumstances why they're not involved this year.
At this stage, it is the
members of the cabinet, Barbados Songstress, International.
The parade 2NC will now direct the unarmed units to march past in quick time to pay compliments to His Royal Highness.
parade second in command, Assistant Commissioner of Police, C.P. Thompson, now giving the commands for the unarmed units to march past in slow and quick time. First unit to march past will be the Boy Scouts Association of Barbados, and they'll be followed by the Barbados Pathfinders, the St. John Ambulance Brigade Association of Barbados, to the music of A Proud Occasion by Jason Catlin.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Boy Scouts Association of Barbados. Detachment Commander, Assistant Chief Commissioner Martin Taylor. He's assisted by Assistant Chief Commissioner Stephen Sobers and Assistant District Commissioner Chad Carter. The flag bearer, Joshua Brathwaite. The East Caribbean Conference of Seventh-day Adventist Pathfinders. Detachment Commander, Mr. Carlos Eiffel. He's assisted by Mr. Kenneth Straker. Flag bearer, Andrew Gittins. The St. John Ambulance Association of Barbados. Detachment Commander, Mr. Anderson Ellis. Assisted by Miss May King and Miss Shane Eswick. Flag Officer, Alfonso Eustace. The National Conservation Commission. Detachment Commander, Alfred Burnett. Assisted by Samuel Rowe and Vernon Haynes. The Barbados Fire Service. Leading this detachment, Acting Divisional Officer Mervyn Mears. He's assisted by Station Officer Denton Foster and the Flag Officer, Fire Officer Marlon Small. The Barbados Red Cross. And in this detachment, Miss Shakina Codrington, assisted by David Griffith, and the Flag Officer, Ruth Hunt. One of the new units on parade, the Queen Elizabeth Hospital nurses, headed by Henderson Pinder, assisted by Luana Duke, and the flag bearer, Jeanette Haynes. Another new detachment, the Barbados Transport Board. Detachment Commander Basil Brathwaite, assisted by Eudine Hines. Flag bearer Elaine White, HR Manager Acting. The Barbados Prison Service. Detachment Commander, Assistant Chief Officer Granville Drakes, Orderly Officer Nigel S. Williams, and the Flag Officer Sergeant Ismail Hinkson. Government Security Guards. Detachment Commander, Senior Security Officer Malcolm Tate. He's assisted by Senior Security Guard David Smith and Flag Officer Dexter Gibbs. The Barbados Immigration Department. Commanding this detachment, Captain Emmanuel Ward, assisted by Lieutenant Zara Messiah and Flag Officer Alain Brathwaite. The Barbados Youth Service. Detachment Commander Brett Rice, assisted by Christine Thorne and Ashley Marshall. The Flag Officer Hakeem Lovell. Another, the Barbados Postal Service. Detachment Commander Paul Burke, assisted by Keelan Mears, Flag Officer Rochelle Gibbons. Ladies and gentlemen, the Barbados Land Ship. Detachment Commander Captain R.N. Elton Graves, assisted by Commander Rydell Williams and Commander Lorraine Seeley, Flag Officer Commander Roland Gilks. We welcome back onto the parade the Church Lads and Girls Brigade. Detachment Commander Lieutenant Diana Payne, Second Lieutenant Heather Ward, and the Flag Officer Second Lieutenant Simone Carroll. The Girl Guides Association of Barbados and Drum Corps. Detachment Commander Miss Maria Mears. She's assisted by Miss Jillian Gibbs. Mrs. Erica Hewitt Smith. The Flag Officer Miss Joy Ward. Ladies and gentlemen, the unarmed units.
The unarmed units and parade having marched past, we will now have a detachment from the Barbados Legion, and this will be followed by a detachment from the cadets who were on parade in 1966. This detachment from the cadets is commanded by Lieutenant Commander retired Charlie Bell, and his second in command is Major Required Vernon Gittins, and the flag bearer of that detachment is Dr. Winston Crookendale. Must bear in mind that in 1966 there were 3 cadet companies formed: Lodge School, Harrison College, and Combermere. Today there are approximately 18 cadet companies and units formed. The Barbados Legion Detachment will be under the command of Mr. Darrell Brewster and his second in command will be Mr. Kenneth Mears. The members of the Barbados Legion now preparing for their march past. They will march past to the music of Matilda. In the background you can see the members of the Barbados Cadet Corps drill display team, all be decked in their new uniform. Barbados.
We will now have the Barbados Legion who will march past and pay compliments to the reviewing officer. Representing those who fell in the world wars and other conflicts around the world, the Barbados Legion. Today's detachment of legionnaires is headed by Mr. Brewster. He is assisted by Mr. Kenneth Mears. The Barbados Legion is accompanied on the parade and paying compliments by his drum corps. Ladies and gentlemen, the Barbados Legion.
Ladies and gentlemen, this detachment represents the cadet companies who took part in the Independence Parade of 1966, which included the baton swingers for the flag raising ceremony. The cadet companies at that time comprised boys from number 1 company, Harrison College, number 2 company, the Lodge School, and number 3 company, Combermere School. The detachment commander, Lieutenant Commander Charles Bell, retired from the number 3 company. Second in command, Major Vernon Gittins, retired from the number 2 company. The flag bearer, Dr. Winston Kirkendale. The escorts, Mr. Gene Marshall from the number 2 company, and Mr. Michael Ford from the number 3 company. 33 other members make up the remainder of this detachment. You'll see some very prominent faces among these represented here. Dr. Ronald Himes, Hayden Workman, Matt Fingal, Bill Blackman, Henry Taylor, Trevor Marshall, George Gabriel, Michael Ford, Frank Thornhill, Winston Crookendale, Oswald Messiah,
the march past by the unarmed units having been completed, the parade will now stand by for addressing. The parade commander will take over command of the parade once again. They'll be addressing as the mass band moves to the rear of the parade, and we will get ready then for the various displays, of which there will be 2 displays tonight. To the music of Pledge by Peter Ram, the mass bands now move to the rear of the parade. David Codgerton giving the commands for the band to do a right wheel to get into position, and from there we will then go on to the displays. There are 2 displays being done this afternoon. A display by the United States Coast Guard drill squad known as the Silent Drill Team, and the Barbados Cadet Corps. Originally there were plans to do 3 displays.
And of course, with the change in location and rescheduling of this event, as you said earlier at the top of the broadcast, there were some changes that were made.
Yes, there were some changes that were made due to the clement weather. And originally we would have had, from what I saw on Sunday, a very splendid parachute display by the Guardian Defense Force jump team, where they were jumping from
6,000 feet. Yes.
Yes.
And 2 jumps with a total of 11.
Of 11, correct. 2 waves of 5 and 6 each. And,
but that is not to be today.
Correct.
The United States Coast Guard Silent Drill Team is very impressive, though. We expect that they will maintain that this evening.
And as the name signifies, Silent Drill Team, so there will be no commands. Commander haven't given the parade the command for an in open order right dress. All members of the parade are now realigning themselves into their original position, ensuring that they're covering off from front to rear and from side to side. Just now we saw when the parade commander was reporting to His Royal Highness, and you may very well ask yourself, how can she remember, or how can the parade commander remember the amount of people on parade? It is simply visualizing the parade. We know the armed units, who are members of the armed units, and in a logical sequence from the right, you remember the Boy Scouts Association is first, and you come down in a sequence until you get to the last unit on the left half of the parade, which is the Girl Guides. So that is how you visualize the parade and remember it. I remember spending many hours in my office going through this with the parade commander.
We will now have 2 displays, one each. from contingents from the United States Coast Guard and the Barbados Cadet Corps. On March 5th, 1962, Admiral Alfred Richmond, Commandant United States Coast Guard, established the Coast Guard Ceremonial Honor Guard. The Honor Guard, located at the United States Coast Guard Yard in Baltimore, Maryland, had 33 original members. The current Honor Guard moved to Alexandria in Virginia. The United States Coast Guard Ceremonial Honor Guard provides presidential support duty to the military district of Washington, and the Commandant, by representing the United States Coast Guard through ceremonial operations held before world leaders, dignitaries, and parades such as this. Members of the drill team are handpicked by the drill team themselves, and the drill NCO Petty Officer Raymond Attaway. Current drill formation is among 3 in the first set of drill maneuvers: the acoustic, a suicide line, and the X formation. The X formation. Center 4 maneuver. Ladies and gentlemen, the United States Coast Guard, Honor Guard Silent Drill Team.
Members of the United States Silent Drill Team. The team routine consists of several different sequences that are put together to form the whole routine. It starts with marching out and presenting arms. The drill master is Petty Officer Raymond Attaway. His introduction will initiate the rest of the routine. At the end of his introduction, the team would move into the first exchange, and then they would have continued with the various exchanges.
The Barbados Cadet Corps was formed 112 years ago, has expanded from the initial 3 units at Combermere School, the Lodge School and Harrison College to 21 school units, along with specialist units of the band, Sea Cadets, the Medical Unit and Air Cadets. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome the Barbados Cadet Corps Drill Display Team. This first segment of the display shows how far we have come as a nation.
uniforms worn by the drill display squad clearly depicts our national pride. The hats worn by the drill squad are adorned with a representation of the sugar cane arrow. The jacket and trousers showcase the colors of our national flag, and proudly displayed on the front of the jacket is a symbol of our independence, the broken trident. The uniform worn by the drill squad was designed by Miss Tanisha Graves, a young art teacher at the Leicester Vaughan School.
Please observe as the drill display team this display will show the number 50, the number of years of independence. What a lovely blue and gold 50. Ladies and gentlemen, the Corps of Drums with Rhythms of the Island. From the beginning of this year, the commemorative broken trident has traversed the island, visiting each parish. Now it has reached its future home. While it was at the historic garrison, ladies and gentlemen, our symbol of pride, the broken trident. Legends to legacy, the members of the Barbados Cadet Corps leading the way. The uniforms worn by the display squad clearly depicts our national pride. The hats worn by the drill squad are adorned with the representation of the sugarcane arrow. The jacket and trousers showcase the colors of our national flag, and proudly displayed on the front of the jacket is the symbol of our independence, the broken trident. Ladies and gentlemen, the uniforms worn by the Barbados Cadet Corps Drill Squad was designed by Miss Tanisha Graves, a young arts teacher at the Leicester Vaughan School. The blue, which is representative of the sugarcane arrow, was designed and produced by Miss Gwyneth Squires. The uniforms were manufactured by the students of the Garment Technology section of the Samuel Jacqueline Prescott Polytechnic, under the direction of their instructors. The production process was coordinated by Miss Joy Pride. Ladies and gentlemen, pride and industry is alive in Barbados. One more time, the Barbados Cadet Corps Drill Display Team.
What a wonderful display by the members of the Barbados Cadet Corps Drill Display Team, and again we must give thanks to those who were instrumental in training them, names like Sergeant Kelman and CPO Ren Selby and Sergeant Jones and former Sergeant Rafe, Inspector Christine Sandiford and Sergeant Corey Greenwich. All of them were instrumental in training those cadets that you saw on parade, and a very lovely and colorful display by them.
Red! Red! Shot! On arm units! Upwards! Turn!
We'll now be moving into phase 5, which will be the salute to the nation.
The displays having been completed, the parade commander has resumed her position at the center of the parade and is preparing the parade and the detachments for the salute to the nation. This aspect of the parade will include a 21-gun salute. The salute will be followed by prayers and the recitation of the national pledge. Please stand and participate fully in all of these events and remain standing until the dignitaries depart the parade ground.
Parade advance and review order by the center. Quick march! Salute to Barbados! Present! Arms!
prayers led by the chairman of the Barbados Christian Council, Canon Noel Burke.
We continue to pray for our daily life and work, for Her Majesty the Queen, His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales, our Governor General, Prime Minister, members of Cabinet, and for both members of the House of Parliament. God and Father of us all, graciously bless our nation, Barbados, and send out your truth to lead us in the paths of justice and peace. Give wisdom to those in authority. Unite us in the service of your kingdom, and help us to love in brotherly concord through Jesus Christ, our Lord. Amen.
Master Mohammed Metter of Al-Falah Muslim Primary School and Miss Rakira Harris Grant of St. Lawrence Primary School will now lead us in the National Pledge. Please repeat after them.
I pledge allegiance to my country, Barbados.
I pledge allegiance to my country, Barbados.
And to my flag.
And to my flag.
To uphold and defend honor.
To uphold and defend their honor.
And by my living, to do credit to my nation, wherever I go.
The police band now strikes up the Happy Birthday song. Commander have given the command to remove headdress, and we will now have 3 cheers for Barbados.
Cheers for Barbados! Head back! Head back! Head back! Parade will replace headdress! We place headdress!
Worthy of note that the females do not remove their headdress, but they still go through the motions of giving the 3 cheers. And the parade will now get ready for the final phase of the parade, which will be the departure departure of the various dignitaries. At this stage, the parade is at attention, and they will now accord the final royal salute to His Royal Highness Prince Henry of Wales.